I'm Bob Walters. This is the Locked Up Sports Jets and Giants postgame show. If you were out at MetLife Stadium today in the rain and watched that disaster of a football game, I feel sorry for you, and I'm sorry. If you paid money to watch that football game, I am even more sorry. If you watched the football game on television, I'm sorry you wasted your day, even it being a rainy day. There was nothing redeemable about the football game. It was one of the worst football games ever played in the NFL. And I'm going to say this right off the bat, and then I'm going to go to the game. If you're somebody who complains that the NFL protects the quarterbacks too much, that it's two-hand touch, that they should just play flag football, that they're not allowed to hit the quarterbacks, this game right here that we watched today at MetLife Stadium between the Jets and the Giants is why they do that. Because when you get a game with no quarterbacks, it looks like that. And that was unwatchable. That was a terrible game. It was so bad that when they came out of the first half and they came back onto the air and they sent it down to the sideline reporter and they said, hey, tell us what the coaches said to you at halftime. The female reporter, I forget her name, who it was exactly for CBS, she said, I spoke to Robert Saleh coming out of the tunnel, and he said, We gotta make sure to get the ball. We gotta snap the ball. We gotta get it from the center to the quarterback. That's what he told his team. It started off bad for the Jets. They fumbled the ball in the first drive, second or third play. Giants recovered. Taylor made perfect field position inside the 20-yard line. 3 plays, nothing, kicked the field goal, up 3-0. The Jets later scored a touchdown in the second quarter to make it 7-3, and that was basically all you had through the rest of the first half. 7-3 was the score at halftime, and it looked like an insurmountable 4-point lead for the Jets. Because with about 2 minutes left, Tyrod Taylor going to the sideline, went down, broke his ribs, and onto the field came a man named Tommy Devito. I don't know who Tommy Devito was before today. I suspect none of you knew who Tommy Devito was before today. Unless maybe you went to Bergen Catholic or you're a Syracuse grad because he played there. I mean, you can't play. You got to feel bad for the kid a little bit. But he did not belong out there. They would have been better off putting Saquon back there and running a Wildcat the rest of the game. Here's the numbers for the Giants through the air. Tyrod Taylor was 4 for 7 for 8 yards. Tommy DeVito was 2 for 7 for -1 yards. He didn't complete a pass until overtime. He didn't complete a pass the entire second half. The Giants went a whole half without completing a pass. And for once, now the offensive line wasn't good, but for once, we're not going to sit here and just kill the offensive line. And it's probably because Neal was out. But everything about this game was terrible. It was completely unwatchable. The Giants secondary was getting just dominated. And what Adoree Jackson's doing in overtime on that play, on that third down, I have no idea. The receiver beat him. I get it. He's trying to catch up to him. But you got to at least look back and find the ball. Turn your head. If he turns his head, he has an interception. Instead, he puts his arms up. He runs right through the receiver. It's pass interference. And the game was over right there. Because Zerline hit a field goal 2 plays later, and that was it. The Giants don't make field goals anymore. Don't get me wrong. Gano was automatic last year. But now he's missing field goals regularly, and he's missing short ones. But these ones today, the last one especially, was not his fault. If he would have kicked it where it would have been good, it would have been blocked. There was something wrong with the protection on the Giants field goal and punt team. The whole special teams are a disaster for the Giants. They were too good. There were 2 redeeming plays in this game. Both made by Zach Wilson, both at the very end of regulation. Somehow, some way, Gano missed the 33-yarder. Jets took over the ball, 24 seconds left, down 3 points, no timeouts. Zach Wilson completed 2 passes, the second one being a fantastic play. He rolled to his right, he threw the ball against his body, on the money. The guy got down. The Jets somehow got up to the line, got everybody set in the right places, snapped the ball, spiked it, 1 second remaining on the clock. So in a game that was lost, that nobody deserved to win, but the Giants had the game won, they found a way to lose. In overtime, the Giants got the ball. Obviously, they did nothing like they did the whole second half. They couldn't move the ball. They punted, another bad punt, which they got lucky because that game would have been over a couple plays sooner. The punt went about 15 yards in the air in overtime. Just got a lucky bounce all the way down the field to about the 30-yard line. The Jets started from the 30-yard line. They went 3 and out, but there was a pass interference. Then they went 3 and out again, and Adoree Jackson face guarding, not even looking back at the ball, starts to throw his arms up, runs right through the receiver when he had a short interception. Saquon Barkley had a big game, but he had to have a big game because he was their only player. So they gave him the ball every time because nobody else could do anything. The Giants couldn't move the ball. If it wasn't Saquon Barkley or Jets penalties, they couldn't move the ball forward. And like I said, I don't blame Tommy Devito because it's not his fault. He's not an NFL quarterback. He's on that team to be a scout team quarterback in practice. He is never supposed to see the field. And he got to play a whole half, and you kind of felt bad for him. He scored the touchdown. Give him credit. It was a good play fake to Barkley. It was a good play call. Somehow the Giants got the ball down the field in the first drive in the second half, scored a touchdown, went up 10-7, and that's where we stayed until the very last play of regulation. Wilson got them down there, and they kicked the field goal. Phil Simms leaving the studio at halftime. All-time ice cold takes.
Whichever team wins, they're in the playoff hunt.
Playoff race? No. Not playoff race. And Bill Cowher right before him saying that this is an old-fashioned type of game. Defense. No, there was no defense. There was just no offense. Penalties all over the place. Bad penalties. It was a disaster. It was a complete waste of time for anybody that watched that game, anybody that paid money for that game. I never say they should get a refund, but they should get a refund for watching it that. I have never seen an NFL game that was worse than a preseason game. Today's game was worse than a preseason game. And I'll say it again. That game is why they protect the quarterbacks. Because when you get a game with no quarterbacks, that's what it looks like. And it's not an entertaining thing. Not something you want to watch. It's not something that would be the number one sport in America. It's not something that networks would pay billions of dollars for. So they protect their investment, the NFL, and they protect their quarterbacks. And that's what they do. There was nothing redeeming about this game. We come out of it. The Giants still stink. The Jets stink. Neither of these teams are going anywhere. Jets are 4-3 somehow. The Giants are 2-6. It's now, just play out the string. The penalties were ridiculous for the Giants. The secondary is terrible. These two kids, you can't have these two kids on an island. You're covering these receivers when they're rookies. It's hard enough to play corner in the NFL, but when you're a rookie, it's even harder. And they put these kids out on the island, and they don't know what they're doing. And in 2 straight plays in overtime, they cost them the game. And they deserved to cost them the game because the Giants didn't deserve to win that game. There was no way they were scoring any more points. Once their line hit the field goal at the end of regulation, you knew it was either going to be a tie or the Jets would win because there was no way the Giants were scoring any points. 0 chance. Now they're going to have to get a quarterback in here to play next week because Tyrod Taylor is not going to play next week. He broke his ribs. Daniel Jones might be out for the season. Now they got to go to the scrap heap and pick somebody off the scrap heap. Somebody at least that knows what they're doing. Somebody's not on the scout team. I'm not blaming Tommy DeVito. It's not his fault. He's not an NFL quarterback. Again, if you were out at the game in that weather, watching that disaster, I'm sorry for you. You deserve a refund. If you wasted your Sunday like I did watching that disaster, I'm sorry for you. There is nothing to say about this. Jets win 13-10 in overtime in one of the worst football games I've ever seen. We'll talk to you Tuesday, everybody. See ya.